boundaries. Once you set these boundaries by adopting the ordinance that creates this, those boundaries are set. The assessments are set. The budget's set.
Okay.
You're adopting a plan.
So with that, to change the boundaries, if the board wishes, if the board of the bid wishes to change the boundaries, they need to come back before the council to change the boundaries?
In the 5-year period.
In the 5-year period, but on year 6, they can do it on themselves?
Yeah, they can change the boundaries, come up with a new plan, and then they can make that determination is if they have the petition thresholds. The petition
And it
thresholds
would have to
are
come
high.
back to us?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
It has to come back to the city council, yes.
Okay, and then my last question is, do you know how many businesses are downtown compared to properties?
I don't know that off the top of my head. If you gave me a day, I could tell you that because I would go through those records.
Fair enough. And then, was any communication prior to today given to businesses who rent, for instance?
The Downtown New Bedford Inc. attended one of our meetings, and we said, I stated this clearly, anytime you want me to talk to the board, I'd be happy to do it. Jay was also with the president. Kevin Carter has been on the board for many, many years. He was the vice president until a couple years ago. So, and I've stated at another meeting on November 22nd, I said, if you guys want me to talk to the board, that's there. I don't walk into a board and say, I got to talk.
Right.
So if they invited me, I'd be happy to do that. Plus,
Okay.
I met with the president of the Downtown New Bedford Inc., I guess a year and a half ago, with Christina Connolly, just to talk about what the district was all about. Again, offering to explain it.
Okay. No further questions this time, Madam Chair. Thank you,
Very
Marco.
good.
Thank you very much, Councilman.
Councilor Baptiste?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for coming. I know we've been through this song and dance before. I've heard a lot of people come and talk about how they're in favor of it, but there are a lot of businesses that make a lot of money with a lot of people that I don't care what I say right now because none of them live in my ward, so none of them can vote for me. They're gonna make a crap ton of money from anything that goes with this. Is there any breaks by being this whole little conglomerate that you have up over here? Because every time you talk about it, it sounds like a cult. I feel like I'm dealing with a cult that's going to take over downtown, that's going to gentrify the area, that's going to push up rents for everybody else around here so that the small businesses are going to move out. But I'm worried about the people that actually live in New Bedford. I know you're a sometime resident of New Bedford and you come here because you got a tan, so I know you wasn't here recently.
I'm not sure what that has to do with anything.
So I'm finishing. But like I'm saying is, what do you get like is this BID, do you get a full tax break of being the BID? And with these nonprofits that are in the downtown area, if they are exempt and you get a tax break with the big businesses, why should they get CPA funds and take away from other small businesses and what's going on in New Bedford if they're going to get a break and be a part of this right here? There's a lot going on. There's a lot of language and a lot of people is asking questions, and you don't have a lot of answers for the questions that people's been answering. And I worry about the fabric of the downtown area. I know a lot of people are going to get breaks and a lot of people want it because it helps their business. But what about the people that are going to get pushed out? So I feel like you want them to be pushed out so you can put the businesses that you want that can afford to be down here, which don't look like the people that's in here right now. So how does the taxes go up over here? Like how is it allocated? Like how is the breaks for being what did you call it before? There was the bid before, but you called it, I forgot what it was when we met at the DeMello Center that day. They had another name for it, and they was talking about breaks and how you're gonna save money. I know the big businesses will probably save money from this, but what about the little businesses? Like, so if a big business gets a tax break from being a part of this little conglomerate, will they pay the same amount as, say, Destination Soups? Like, and how would that be fair to the smaller business that owned the smaller property owner?
Okay, I would ask you to rephrase your question because there was a lot of in there, cult, being from California.
I know.
Things like that. So I can answer a question if I have one.
That's all you heard because that's all you wanted to hear. I think you lost me because you didn't want to hear about the What about the taxes? Does this group get a tax break at a whole?
I'm not sure where this idea of a tax
Like
break came from.
because when you said it to us at the DeMello Center that day, because I was present at the DeMello Center, and you said use a, I forgot the term, other word that they said that they was going to be, and they was all gonna be mixed together, and everybody was gonna buy in, and you were trying to get an exemption for all the businesses in the city. Like, I'm not bugging right now because that's what was said when we was in that. So what I'm worried about is how is this going to benefit the small businesses if the bigger businesses get any breaks?
I'm not sure, and Councilwoman Murad was at that conversation. I don't remember
Murad.
talking about, I'm not sure saying that the larger business or property owners were gonna get any tax breaks.
It was just the way it was said before and the way it's saying now. It's just two different things. I wasn't for it the first time. I'm not for it this time. I think that this, like I said, this is another gentrification process. A lot of the people that came up and spoke in favor, they're gonna make a lot of money from the people that come in here anyway. But the people that actually live in these neighborhoods usually don't go to their places because it's too expensive, and the places that are feasible for them to go, like these soups, like the Baker, you know what I'm saying, man? Like, no probs. Like, a lot of people frequent them spots more from the city, and I think that they make the fabric of downtown more for the people of my ward, at least. So, you know, I'll ask more questions, and you know, we'll go from there.
Are you asking if the people in the business district are going to get a tax break?
Are they going to get a tax break? The people in the business district, do they get a tax break in the business district?
No,
So
that's never been stated to anyone at any time, vocally or in print.
Well, that was, you know, that's what I took from it last time we met at the DeMello Center about a year
and
ago.
I'm sorry if I miscommunicated something, but I don't recall saying that.
That's what I wanted to make sure that everybody didn't get lumped in because you were trying to get in as one group, because you was going to try to make it one group so that you get one tax rate for everything in the group. That's what was said before. So that's why it's changed a little bit, and that's why I wanted to
The plan is
clarify
exactly
that.
the same as when we met, Councilman, so the plan hasn't changed.
It wasn't.
And-
It wasn't really as elaborate as this, but.
And one thing I would say too,
if you say so.
the issue has come up about transparency. We know transparency in the other, we have to post agendas 72 hours in advance. We have to put all of our minutes and financials on a website. Anybody of the public would get access to that information. This is no cult. This is no small group of people.
It just sounds crazy. That's to me personally.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
I don't know how everybody else. And like you said, you know, you don't have the information for some of the questions that are asked. That's like giving somebody a packet 3 hours before a meeting and expect them to understand what's going on in that meeting too.
Well,
So I yield the floor. Thank you.
Okay, these packets were submitted to the city almost 2 months ago, so.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the businesses that was around that got the packets
Yes.
today. So.
And I spent time talking to, I'm not here all the time, but when I heard there were concerns, I went and spoke to those businesses. They were not notified because they're not going to be paying into the district. The legislation talks about BID included property owners. So I'm
if you're
trying
not
to follow the
if you're not
legislation.
paying in, you just don't mean nothing.
Pardon me?
You have no meaning in anything that's going on. If you're not paying in, you have no say so. You have no value.
I didn't say that. I said that business owners would be included in the board of directors, even though they might not be paying. And if their property owner isn't paying into the district either, because they're below $1,000, they would be encouraged to work on the board
So
too.
I thought you said that you didn't pass out none of the information because they wasn't paying in, so you didn't have to give them the information.
No, the original newsletters, as we got closer to the petition drive and concentrating on the petition drive, we tried to reach out to the people that would be included in the district. And so that's what we spent the time on.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Chair recognizes Council Aber.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, Marco. You recently just addressed it, but one of the concerns from some who have concerns or maybe even opposed this bid district proposal talked about issues surrounding gentrification and transparency. I'm sure some of those concerns were levied to you and your team at these other districts that you were forming throughout your career. How did you address that? How did you quell those concerns, and how did you move forward And please just give us an honest answer, because you may still have some of those concerns in some of your districts, or maybe you've been able to address it and rectify those concerns. So I'd like to hear what you've done, and again, excluding the Little Italy, because that's its own separate, but the other districts that maybe are somewhat analogous to New Bedford.
So we, again, in the districts we manage in California, there needs to be meeting notices posted 72 hours in advance in the room they're going to be. If there's going